listen, I don't have much time, but there never was a Dire Gentleman channel. There is no Henry Galley, there is no Gus Zagarella. It's all an illusion, it's all a big conspiracy.
SCP, open up! You're declaring the truth!
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Hi everybody, welcome to the Dire Gentleman channel. My name is Gus Zagarella.
And my name is Agent Henry Galley. No, it isn't. I don't work for the government. Welcome to whatever the fuck this is.
Hey man, if you worked for the government, you'd tell me, right? Like, that we're cool enough for you to tell me that, right?
I mean, I'm actually legally obligated to tell you if you ask that. Because the thing is, the whole thing about that only being a thing in movies is actually something they planted in movies to stop people from asking the magic question. It's just a fun little fact for you right there.
I see. Well, I'm also, if you asked me if I work for the government, I'd be obligated to tell you no, not because there's any specific policy relating to the government, just that's my personal policy, to tell the truth.
Do you know what? That's completely fair. So, we here at the Dire Gentleman channel are naturally paranoid people. We suffer from quite severe delusions. We believe things like dogs can give you cancer, and that Stephen King killed John Lennon. And that is why we're so good at writing Riley in our podcast Less is Morgue that we create with the rest of the Prapes Collective, because we earnestly believe everything Riley says. Isn't that right, Gus?
I mean, I'm telling you, man, like, it's a tough world out there. I'm just so glad that me and Momoe have each other's backs. We stand up for each other. We make sure that, like, you know, we always share information. It's like we're, you know, it's like we're the same person almost.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're two separate people, and we just go about our business making sure that the other person's life is easy.
Yeah, you two dudes are thick as thieves. But today, we decided that because it's been a while since we've done an Iceberg video, which our last one was the disturbing movie Iceberg. Like with all the Iceberg videos, we always like to put a spin on them, because we're all about creativity here. In the last one, I fed Gus the various titles on the disturbing movie Iceberg, and he, for the most part knowing nothing else about them, twisted them into pitches for really nice, wholesome movies. And today, we're doing a similar thing, because normally people might do a conspiracy theory Iceberg and kind of, you know, explain real conspiracy theories, but we like to do things a little bit differently. Today we have the AI-generated conspiracy theories Iceberg.
Exactly. But here's the thing. This AI, I have on good authority. I don't even know the name of the AI or, frankly, what site you're using, but I have it on good authority that this AI is actually generating conspiracies that are yet to happen. So this is an algorithm that's looking into the future and telling us what will be done, and we got to be ready for those things in advance.
Yeah, and Gus, if I'm not mistaken, you actually have experience from, like, living in college with just an agent of the truth that will help you predict what each of these, like, AI-generated future-telling conspiracy names will be, right?
Yes. I spent a year of my college life living in a suite full of people who were big fans of David Icke, full of people who were big aficionados of all the Denver airport lore. They knew all the hottest conspiracy theories that were totally real and not cringy and not disproven by 5-minute Google searches. And so in that time, in that year, I really, you know, enveloped myself in a protective bubble of truth that cannot be penetrated by any of the insidious serpentine lies that exist at every corner of this world to test our confidence in ourselves and using conspiracy theories as a personality.
Exactly. Your brain is mainlining truth, and the fact is, facts will never beat truth. Shall we begin?
I am ready to begin, but that implies that we didn't already begin.
God, you're so fucking right. Top layer, these are the real basic bitch future conspiracy theories. Everyone knows these. So, I'll start you off nice and easy. First one is the flood.
Oh, well, the flood is actually the idea that Noah's Ark was real, but it was perpetuated by America. You see, the floodplains of America was where the flood actually took place, and there were multiple more animals that lived there that were covered up, and they got rid of them because these animals were ugly.
I'd heard that. I heard a periodical that Noah only picked the animals he thought were cute. There was actually, like, an incredible, like, vital animal to the ecosystem called the schnozzficker, which existed for, like, eons. But Noah thought, nah, it's ugly. Its ears are too big. what the hell is that nose? Are those eyes or buttholes? So he left it to drown.
See, that's the thing. I mean, you look into the Bible and they're talking all about like animal husbandry, about it's important to be a husband to animals. And I think Noah took that like very literally in his time. And the language has evolved and people have been trying to like, paint that as something a little bit more wholesome. But no, I think that he picked the animals based on how hot he thought they were in a very perverse, objectifying way. And I think that's just disgusting.
Yeah, that's sick. And the fact that people still look up to this man, like, I personally think we should stop standing Noah. Hashtag Noah is over party. Get it trending.
Fuck this dude. Fuck this Noah dude, because he was the initiator of yacht culture.
Yeah.
Like, all these fucking rich-ass yuppies on their yachts, like, it all began with him. He was patient zero for yacht fuckers. He fucks his boats, too. He's a sexual monster.
And yeah, can anyone prove he did not fuck every animal on that boat? Can you prove that he did not fuck every animal on that boat? I think
the butt.
I think he charged a blowjob for entry onto the life-saving boat. That's the kind of monster we're dealing with here. I want to stop talking about this because, frankly, I'm getting too angry thinking about this prick. So I'm going to give you the next one.
I mean, but you said it yourself. He had to invent currency in order to charge for a blowjob. Give me the next one. I'm already mad.
So the next one is JFK slow motion murder.
Okay. So this is something that you have to like look at like the films of that time to realize. So after the world went into color, which is, after the black and white era, when film was suddenly in color, that's because the world changed. And for a while, it was completely slow motion.
I believe the director of Wizard of Oz, changed it and made it colorful halfway through making that film.
Well, that's the thing. The Wizard of Oz is a documentary. People don't tell you this, but, that is a real place. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, color came from there, and it came into society, and we had to speed up the footage because the new colorful world was too slow because all the colors were weighing down the time. But then when JFK was assassinated, somehow or other, everything went into normal motion. So it was his death that caused the end of the perceived slow-mo in the world, even though that's maybe the speed that time was actually supposed to run, and now we're accelerating too much. You ever hear of accelerationists? This is what their plan is. They're making time move faster and faster.
And I think as well, if you really think about it, have you ever seen a color photo of Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, he was the last of the black and white people. He was the last of the monochromatics.
Yeah, I think he was part of a monochromatic separatist group who hated the fact that Kennedy was a big fan of color, even though it was slowing down time. Then they thought, fuck, he has to die. Them and their leader, Charlie Chaplin, who wasn't dead. He was still very much alive, and he was ruling this group.
The monochromatics will return. That is a fact.
I'm just hoping we don't get assassinated by the end of this video. We're going to have, Alex Jones calling us and be like, hey guys, I need you to take a job now for me in the InfoWars.
I mean, Henry, that's implying we haven't already been assassinated.
That's true. We could be dead by the time you're seeing this, replaced by government lizard drones. It's all true, and it's all fake. Who knows? Let's get to the next one. Alright, the next one is the Footage Organization.
So, this one, despite what you may think, actually has nothing to do with camera footage. These are people who add feet to fossils. There's a secret world order that is adding the feet onto fossils. Because at a certain point in history, animals didn't have feet previously.
Until the foot age began.
Yeah, the foot age, you see. It's the, people think that footage, it's this pre-existing word, but really, it's the foot age. In fact, Homo sapiens, we didn't have feet until they were, put here. But who was it? Well, I can't say, but I can tell you that they're very powerful, and that uttering their name alone, let's just be thankful that they are distracted by the copious amounts of pictures of famous women's feet on the internet. That's their real end game. They created the perfect sexual shape for themselves to lust over.
Yeah, I mean, they were distracted by those websites, and, their film career has stopped them.
Yeah.
From just,
Exactly. And I can't say who it is. I can't say. I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah, it's not legal. It's not legal. All I'm saying is, before we move on to the next one, look down right now. To everyone at home, just make sure that your feet aren't really realistic prosthetics, because, you know, movie magic these days, it's scary what they can do. It could be holograms, could be like flesh effect, kind of like biotech, like the Terminator. Who knows? I'm just saying, keep asking questions.
Exactly. Do you remember being born with feet? I don't think you do.
Exactly. Alright, next we have virtual reality conspiracy.
So, this is the conspiracy that virtual reality doesn't exist, which it very much does. In fact, there was a real story done about virtual reality and all of its ill effects and how it was perpetuated by big gaming companies like Bethesda and Ubisoft. There was this one guy, Reki Kawahara, who knew the whole truth, and he wrote it down in this book called Sword Art Online, and everyone tries to tell you that's just a crappy anime, it's one of the first isekai, like, set a terrible trend that is still in anime to this day. But no, it's actually, like, what happened with virtual reality and why everyone's trying to cover it up.
Yeah, anyone who says to you, I don't like Sword Art Online, government shill. They are bought and paid for by the government.
By AAA gaming. By AAA game companies, too.
Which again, is just an arm of the government, because, you know, Call of Duty, Battlefield, like, these are all, like, propaganda by the military-industrial complex to get... Oh, no, wait, no, that is a real one. No, sorry. Ignore all that. Yeah, AAA game, which is not in any way in the pocket of the government. They're just an evil entity unto itself, ruled by Cthulhu.
Yes, exactly. They're ruled by Cthulhu and Lisa. Anyway, next conspiracy.
Yes. This is the last one on the top layer. I want to say great job pursuing the truth so far. We have stable isotopes.
So, this is the myth that beneath the state of Texas, there are stable isotopes that were first being perfected in the Alamo, which is why America had to steal the Alamo back from the Aztecs. Yeah, no, it was not the people of Mexico who were, like, in that war. It was actually the Aztecs. And if these isotopes are fully stabilized because they were destabilized by the Battle of the Alamo, they will become the Aztec deity Zippy Todek, and it will usher in a new age of Aztec stuff, which is bad because they were ancient culture, and they always evil.
Yeah, if conspiracy things have taught us anything, it's that no ancient culture can really take credit for any of its, like, miraculous achievements. It's all aliens, unless white people did it, and then, yeah, they definitely did it.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the even bigger cover-up, because, in fact, every ancient civilization figured out, like, all of science, to the point that, like, what they would call science is beyond... Like, the word for science was invented to diminish the discoveries they made. The truth is, if those isotopes stabilize, we'll know for a fact. We'll know that facts are meaningless, that science is meaningless, because it will all be sacrificed on the altar of ancient, powerful things that we daren't understand.
Yeah, they say that Tim Berners-Lee created the internet. It wasn't. It was Quetzalcoatl, the feathered snake god.
It was Al Gore.
Yeah. So, are you ready for the next tier? Now things are getting a bit more secretive. Like, these are, like, for top secret. This is SCP Foundation shit.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Starting off strong with S gods. The letter S hyphen gods.
Okay. So this one is, you know how, like, almost, like, a lot of religions have, like, holy books or holy texts or mythologies that, like, tell people what exactly happened in the past?
Yes.
Here's the thing. The actual deities, the actual gods that these things describe, when they were transcribing their, like, exploits to mortals, they were being heavily sarcastic. So the full name for this conspiracy is the sarcastic gods, because they were telling mortals, like, the opposite of what happened. They were, like, ironically giving them information that was completely incorrect about how the universe worked. So if you take all the world's religions and you, like, interpret them in the exact opposite way that it was given, you're getting something closer to the truth than these lying gods, which are totally real and just want to fuck with us because they're sarcastic pricks.
And then I said, let there be light. And there was light.
Yeah, that sort of shit.
So, are you writing this down, Moses? Oh, but be sure to get all this down. Yeah. Have these stones to play with. These are from my garden.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, Ragnarok's gonna happen at the end of time. Like, yeah, that's totally, we're like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Like, it's all gonna happen then. Oh, and the dog's like gonna stay down in the basement until he gets out.
Yeah, oh, I'll fight a giant dog. Moo.
That's the sarcastic gods.
So enough of like the cosmos gods. That's nothing compared to just the horrifying truth of Joe Biden hair salon.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe you were It's like this is the president we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty horrifying that this is only on the second level. It's like what the fuck is below if Joe Biden hair salon is on level 2?
Well, as we all know, Joe Biden is not the shadow president, but he is the penumbral president. There's a deeper shadow president beneath him, and both of them are shadows to the unshadowed one. But that's not as important as the fact that there are hair salons where you can go and they like clip off a little piece of Joe Biden's hair and they insert it into your brain, and that automatically makes you think more like Joe Biden. So you start eating ice cream funny, and you start like talking about a guy named Corn Pop.
You say Jack a lot. You say Jack a lot. You find yourself getting uncomfortably close to the women in your life.
Yeah, you start sniffing like women's hair. You start like referring to larger men as just as fat, as like a noun. Like you start doing a lot of weird old guy shit. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe Biden is actually 27, and he puts on the old guy affect, and they cover up the fact because he's just a weird 27-year-old who behaves this way.
I mean, he's not strictly speaking 27, but he is actually Jackass's Johnny Knoxville in kind of heavy makeup. Those like Dirty Grandpa movies and like the skits in like the old Jackass show were just a way of showing like, will people like buy Johnny Knoxville in old age makeup? And so many people fell for it. They thought, we can have Johnny like pretend to first be the vice president and then take the presidency. And that's why there's a new Jackass movie coming out when you're not seeing Joe Biden much.
Well, that's the thing. Had anybody heard of Joe Biden before he was the vice president to Obama? Had anybody heard about him? Like, was he even doing anything? There's no record.
Yeah, footage before that is deepfaked. It's all Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, no, like, any record you find of Joe Biden's political career, like where he voted, what bills he passed, all of that was put in, like, when he became president to go along with the bit. Even, like, especially the bad stuff.
And all these were planted by the true penumbral vice president, Steve-O.
Planted like the many strands of hair that will cause you to become more like Joe Biden, no matter what age you are.
Yeah, and it's why the pandemic was so inconvenient. Fewer people getting haircuts, kind of hair salons. But have you noticed, Joe Biden's president, COVID's kind of easing off a little bit. People are going back to hair salons. Wake up! So next we have Phantom Army.
Phantom Army. Okay. So this one is the okay.
Sometimes the truth hits you so hard it makes you laugh, like that video on Old we made.
Well, I'm laughing because the Phantom Army is actually the real army. What people don't know is that we are all currently ghosts. And so Phantom Army is just when our army goes out into the world, they're not killing people. They're not like, drone striking people like for no good reason. They're actually like causing birth. They're causing people to be born on the other side. If you've ever played the game Death Stranding, it's kind of like that, except not like that, not really, but a little bit closer to Death Stranding. The idea is everybody who like is in the military is already dead, and they're fighting wars to create the life that leads to the people who create the militaries. It's a kind of yin-yang, Death Stranding, self-fulfilling prophecy. It's also like El Topo.
There's nothing I can even add to that, because that is just 100% correct. Like, flawless. And again, I think we are going to be killed to life for being the ones brave enough to say it.
No, but they won't kill us, because then we'd be alive.
Then we could do some real damage.
Yeah, we're already ghosts right now. We have been all along, really.
I'm sorry, but this channel's insurance does not cover blown minds. Alright, next we have Twilight of the Gods.
All right, so this one is it's related to the sarcastic gods in the sense that it involves the very real gods. This is the conspiracy that the sarcastic gods had to cover up because in the late 2000s they were all fans of the Stephanie Meyer novel Twilight, but they had to pretend to be ironic fans to cover up the fact that they genuinely cared about who Bella ended up with.
My god, you've done it again. Because as we all know, and if the comments on our Direwolf video have taught us anything, it's that things that start off as ironic enjoyment quickly just become enjoyment. And a lot of the time, hiding it as ironic enjoyment will only deeper down galvanize your sincere enjoyment.
Yeah, and that's what we have to really be worried about here because like Twilight is just a regular book. It's a book written by mortals, just like every holy book, because the gods gave us the information. But if the gods are that into Twilight, if they're that big of twihards, what is stopping them from one day becoming vampire gods? And I don't want to live in that universe because I don't already. I'm currently a ghost in that universe. But if I was killed to life in that universe, I wouldn't want to be.
That's some JoJo shit, dude. That's some fucking... Like, what if the gods were, like, pillar men? Like, that'd be terrifying.
What if? Dude, the gods are the pillar men.
Madness. Sheer madness, but also undiluted truth. Power!
Power!
Next we have Babylon, comma, Room 1.
Okay, so you're familiar with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon from Mesopotamia?
Yes, of course. Who isn't?
So, little did you know that the Hanging Gardens, it wasn't because they had these hanging plants, it's where Hammurabi would hang people. Because if they looked at Hammurabi in the eyes, they would then be hung, and Hammurabi would steal and eat their eyes. That was the true meaning of eye for an eye.
And that was how he gained the power to write his code.
Exactly. And Room 1 was the place where these executions would happen, in the Hanging Gardens.
Yeah, and George Orwell knew this, because people think Room 101 was like 101 in 1984, but it's like Room 1. Oh, 1. Like, just emphasis on the 1.
Exactly. Because he had to know that people would be that shocked by the revelation that they needed to hear it twice with a bit of an edging noise in the middle.
And like, literally everything about 1984, it's been massively misinterpreted by people in the years since its publication.
By me. I don't know a single thing about what happened in 1984.
I wasn't even born in 1984.
Yeah, all I know is that it was preceded by 1985, the first false year.
I didn't think we were bringing up false years this early in the iceberg. Like, dude, you gotta consider the audience. We don't want to hurt them.
Yes, we do, because if this video hurts them enough, maybe they'll be killed to life, and they can do what we couldn't do.
Yeah, spread our message.
Spread it like the delicious butter of truth.
Spread it like the cheeks. The last one of the second tier is Cornwall's Cursed Peace. Piese. Sorry, E-C-E. Sorry, I want to explain. I'm drinking right now because, as you know, alcohol is a depressant, and therefore it slows down the blood in the body. So if the government have, like, pumped me with any, like, nerve toxins while we're doing this, the alcohol will make the blood flow slower and, like, not kill me as quick, so we can at least finish the video first. I just felt I owed the audience that explanation. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's the thing too. You know how alcohol like makes you kind of like feel like the world is like slowing down sometimes? It's because you're actually experiencing time as it was, because Lee Harvey Oswald could not completely stop the slow-mo. But anyway, Cornwall. Please remind me what Cornwall is?
Cornwall is a place in England famous for its a special kind of pie known as the Cornish pasty.
Right, and this is a peace, as in like a period of non-war?
No, like a piece of something else. P-I rather than P-E.
Got it. Okay. That other one is one I've heard of, but the one that we know about Cornwall's lost peace...
Cornwall's cursed peace. Cursed.
Cursed peace. Okay. So, this is actually because Cornwall, the part of England, is actually, a little unbeknownst to you, it's not part of England anymore. Like, like, over there, the government's telling you that it's still there. But actually, when the Americas claimed independence, they were actually in such a position to volley for power that they literally took Cornwall and cursed it so that it was a part of the Americas. Like, American laws apply over there. It's still where it is, but it is functionally a territory of the United States. We just haven't capitalized on that.
Are you talking about the fabled Great Cornwall Secession of 1898?
Oh my God, you knew! I didn't want to bring it up because, like, I understand.
It is a taboo subject over here. It is a taboo subject, but, like, brave truth seekers like myself, we know the facts, and it really warms my heart to know that, like, despite the English government led by Boris Johnson trying to cover it up, like, the truth is still out there internationally.
I'm so glad to hear that, man. I'm so glad, like, by the way, in Cornwall, you don't have to pay taxes on fireworks. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty fucking cool. Honestly, that is awesome. Alright, that is level 2 cleared, and we have not yet been assassinated to life. So, are you ready for level 3?
Yes.
Alright, so, first one is Riemann numbers, spelt Reimann, and then in parenthesis next to it, so it's Riemann numbers, parenthesis, 3 is bigger.
Okay, so, have you ever looked at the number 3? Like, ever in your life? Have you ever done that even once?
Come to think of it, I haven't.
So, 3, actually, like, in the numerical, numeral system of numerology that we use in the bulk of the world for our mathematics, our arithmetics,
Of course.
the number 3 is very close in size and in shape to the number 8. And the truth is, 3 is bigger than 3 because all 3s are incomplete 8s. And if they were suddenly completed, then 3 would be 8, and that's why the numbers would start rhyming. It's a code, you see, and it's because look at 6 and 9. They're flipped upside down, right?
And they naturally go well together.
Yep, exactly. Look at 5 and 2. They look exactly the same. If you think about how they look exactly the same, they do.
And 1 looks a bit like 7.
Yeah, exactly. And 0 is its own rhyming number.
Because if you spell 0 backwards, it spells 0 both ways. It's a palindrome.
Exactly. And if everyone knew that numbers were rhyming, then the SATs would have to get canceled because everyone would be able to cheat at math because all of the numbers would be all the other numbers, and therefore nothing would be the right answer to any equation.
I bet if there's any people who are still in school watching this, tell the teachers about this and they will be gobsmacked. They'll be speechless because they'll realize that their efforts to hide the truth from you failed.
Exactly. And whatever you do, don't think about 4, because it's the only one that doesn't rhyme, and that's for, I don't want to get into it, but it involves the Grim Reaper. Anyway.
It's just too much. Alright, very good. Next one is Chi Wave Energy.
G-Wave Energy.
No, Chi. C-H-I. Or Chai Wave, perhaps.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were talking about G-Wave Energy, and I'm glad I don't have to be personal about that right now, because, there's a couple of other reasons why I need to hide.
Yeah, and let's also not confuse it with the other kind of Chi Wave Energy, which is like the K-I Chi. This is a totally different thing, spelt C-H-I.
C-H-I. Chi Wave Energy is actually, it's actually a small amount of gravitational pull that is in every chai latte. Had to take the A out because it would have given the game away.
The A is a false flag.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Scarlet Letter, when the letter A was a big problem.
Yes.
It's because they don't want it to be drawing attention to it. Because when you wear the A, you draw attention to yourself. And if you put the A on the chi the one, then people would know. But they don't. They don't know about the chai gravity, that if enough chai lattes are made at the same time, it will start to build its own gravitational pull, which will invert the Earth and will then, you name it. What happens when you've got an inverted Earth? Nothing good.
Yeah, and the thing is, they've taken all of the A's out of chai, right? And they use the A's on the test papers of the people who are best at being sheep and following all of the government's laws.
Well, here's a mind blower for you. Where do you think that AAA gaming got their 3 A's? Where do you think AA batteries come from, huh? Like, it's all because they're stealing these A's from this thing that, like, you know, they had this, they believed they were altruistic for altruistic for trying to get rid of the A's that would draw attention to the way that someone could invert the Earth using chai tea lattes, but instead they started using the A's for their own personal gain. It's like the opposite of the Scarlet Letter.
Gus, I've just got tell you that theory weesome. Grit job.
Also, don't think about how A kind of looks like number 4.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Oh, I feel sick. I feel sick.
No, stay with me. Stay with me, man.
Oh, my God.
I gotta hear the next one.
All right.
Because we're gonna bust these nuts wide open.
All right, I'm pulling the composure. Come on, Riley, protect me. All right, so next one is George W. Bush didn't die.
Well, that's because he was killed to life. You see.
Yes. Isn't it amazing how you realize in like the framework of reality, on some level, all the theories connect? Because that is the nature of truth. They coexist even when they contradict.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone says that there was something about the War on Terror being started because of 9/11, or as this reactionary need to grab oil or to push Christianity around the world, or because Dick Cheney forced George Bush to do it. But no, the truth is far more scary and fatalistic. George Bush had to start the Phantom Army to kill the world to life so that he could exist. It was always his destiny, and he chose existence over oblivion. And at the end of the day, it's hard to blame him because the frame of reference for a being that would not exist otherwise is so alien to our own. You know what I'm saying?
The whole thing is just one big mass murder life-aside.
Exactly. It's like Edge of Tomorrow, except nothing like that movie.
Exactly. Like, you could say, it's also a bit like The Cat in the Hat in the way that it isn't like it. Ditto for the movie Freddy Got Fingered. It all connects. Tom Green knows more than he's saying.
Well, that's the thing. Freddy Got Fingered isn't about that, but in a way, it's kind of about everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, by not being about this one thing, it manages to instead have a totalistic perspective and cover, again, just the totality of reality outside of the George W. Bush didn't die theory.
So the one part of Freddy Got Fingered that does tie into this, because like I said, it's about everything, so why would they not address, everything, right? But mostly everything else is around the issue, but that's a delivery capsule so that they can have the "I'm a farmer daddy" line, which is describing George Bush milking himself into existence through life, death, and the Phantom Army.
And think what came out that exact same year? The Phantom Menace.
Kaboom! Like the Death Star.
Which was in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
If you think
about it.
It
was the Phantom Menace.
Exactly. Anyway, so the next one is Comic Book Genocide, returning to an old channel classic.
Oh yeah, I made this. I made this video, I think.
Then you should be an expert in comic book genocide.
Well, the conspiracy is actually a Dire Gentleman conspiracy, and the conspiracy is that there was going to be another video in the genocide themes in cartoons, and it was going to be about genocide themes in every Mickey Mouse cartoon ever, but I was not allowed to do that because,
Disney's Frozen Head personally called in and was like, "Well, hey now, Gus, I just simply can't allow you to reduce that video. It would ruin the reputation of my darling Mickey."
No, dude, I wish I was dealing with the Frozen Head of Walt Disney. I wasn't dealing with the mouse, dude. I was dealing with the rat.
Holy fuck. The rat called you?
The rat, Ricky Rat himself, called me.
At 3 a.m.?
Yeah. Dude, if I wasn't already, like, a phantom, if I wasn't already, like, life dead, death lifed, I'd be the opposite, because he would invert me. That's what he would do. The least of what he would do.
I've got to say, dude, I'm a little bit, like, upset and pissed off because, like, I was texting Ricky Rat the other day, and I said, hey, Ricky, do you want to have a call? Like, it'd be nice to, like, hear your voice, speak verbally. And he was like, nah, man, sorry, I got social anxiety, I don't call. And I was like, I respect that. I would never force someone out of their comfort zone, but it seems, in the end, he just wasn't comfortable with me. And I'm hurt by that.
Well, that's the thing, man. There is one consolation, is that, like, if that guy's interacting with you at all, you're on his bad side. He has only bad sides. Like, there's no good side to him.
He's like a sphere made of poison.
Yeah, exactly. He's much less a rat and more like an anti-rat.
Yeah, or like a Death Star, as seen in The Phantom Menace, and Freddy Got Fingered. Alright, on to the next one. 7 firsts.
So this is related to the other one in that the number 7 is related to number 1 because they're rhyming numbers.
Yeah, it's true.
It goes deeper than that, though, because you know how, like, when people, like, in the, like, late 90s to early 2000s, early internet, would, instead of exclamation points, put a bunch of, like, ones at the end?
Yeah, I mean, we know these things because we went through those Lucifer Valentine interviews, and they were formatted nightmarishly.
So, some of the things on that website were turned into, like, question marks instead, and a lot of internet things were like, covered up because anyone who put 7 ones after a seven firsts after an exclamation point, they would actually inadvertently curse whatever it is they were talking about, whatever they were excited about. So excited to miss the exclamation point key 7 times and put 7 ones instead, they would inadvertently curse it with irony. And eventually people would be looking at it and think that it wasn't as cool as they thought it was.
Do you want to hear something genuinely terrifying, Gus?
Always. I am always in a state that I want to hear something terrifying, because comfort is poison to me.
This curse not only persists today, it has a more powerful version that is even more dangerous to the victim. Have you ever noticed that you go on, like, a big YouTube video and there are multiple people saying first, despite the fact that obviously only one person can comment first, but if exactly 7 people, no more, no less, comment first on a video, the poster will be dead in a week.
Yeah, and 100% of the like to dislike will turn into dislike. And anyone who likes the video, it will automatically become a dislike.
Genuinely, just, it's fucked. It's fucked that Susan allows this to happen. Like, when are you gonna end the violence, Susan?
Stop it, Susan.
Just stop it.
No more, Susan.
Final thing of Tier 3. The Place of Gods.
Okay, so the Place of Gods is actually not a place at all. The conspiracy is that the government of Uzbekistan created a false god zone where genuine gods live. Gods that aren't sarcastic.
The sincere gods. The other kind of S-god.
But they were so sincere, they are so sincere, that the place around them had to absorb the sarcasm that is usually present in divine beings, thus rendering it not a place.
Because it's only a place, ironically.
Yeah, but they're sincere in it.
This is how it feels to be a content creator on YouTube. To be the only sincere people in an ironic place.
Well, that's the thing. Uzbekistan created YouTube. And it is the Place of Gods.
It's true. Susan is the most famous Uzbek.
Yep.
Now we know it. I think... Oh, shit, do you hear that? That sounds like gunshots. That must be the government agents coming for me. All right, let's continue. Tier 4.
The Phantom Army, man.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for Tier 4, though I'm a little worried about the number 4.
True. Tier A, we'll call it, just to keep it out of the chai. The first one is USSR Wall of Screenshots.
So, have you ever heard of the Iron Curtain?
Of course.
Well, this has nothing to do with the Iron Curtain.
Right, naturally.
If you logged into the internet in the USSR, before it was the USSR, before they had internet, back when it was just a Siberian wasteland, back when it was just snow and ice, if you logged into the internet back then, all it had was screenshots in like a synchronized order that led all the way into the future and all the way into the creation of the USSR. But as soon as the USSR was made, they burned the photographs so nobody could follow them through the timeline to stop them from getting made.
Finally, someone saying it. Like, you're speaking truth to power, dude. And I've got to say, I just have the biggest respect for you.
Well, that's the thing, because I think we need to dispose of these, strictly speaking, facts. And we need to dispose of feelings, too. Because facts and feelings don't care about each other, thus canceling each other out and leaving only truth.
Yeah, all there is truth. That's the truth, Ruth. Alright, are you ready for the next one?
Yes, I am ready.
Alright, take a deep breath, because the next one is Newton's science was wrong.
Well, I mean, we take that as a given here, don't we? We take that as a given that Newton's science was wrong. But this is actually the science behind Fig Newtons as well being completely incorrect.
Thank fuck.
What even are they? Like, what are Fig Newtons made of, right? Like, there's actually no such thing as a fig. Figs were made up by the Greek because of their puritanical values of covering up their statues' genitals. They invented a fake fruit in order to, like, prevent people from seeing some big flopping marble dicks.
Yeah, fig is just short for figment of your imagination.
Exactly. And the Newton is a false science that wraps your imagination in a crust of barely physical crumbly bread that prevents you from imagining that the Fig Newton isn't real.
Fuck Fig Newtons. Genuinely.
I know, they're gross.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're getting serious. This is like some dangerous shit because now we have Enemy X.
Oh, fuck. Okay. You know, I didn't know we'd be getting into alphabetology here, but since we're here with the alphabetology, did you know that X is actually not even a letter? It's neither a letter nor a number. It comes from algebra, which of course is bullshit because algebra does not work. If you've tried algebra, you know it doesn't work. You know they're lying to you. Like, I know you're smart enough to know that. X is actually it's actually a physical object. There's one in the world, and it's at the bottom of the ocean. And you have to go find it if you want to confirm its value. But nobody is letting you go find it. But they won't let you go find it because it itself marks where the treasure is. That's right, the treasure. All of it. The one and only piece of it.
But the thing is, it could be treasure, but alternate readings of the scripture dictate it could be a false treasure perpetuated by the cult of X and their leader, Sonic.exe.
Exactly. The enemy. The real enemy.
The most dangerous creature and the fastest ever to exist. You know the original Sonic trailer? That was Sonic.exe. And because people spoke truth to power and complained, he was taken out of the film. If the film was released as is, he would have taken the souls of billions.
But little did you know that if people were able to read that trailer, all the other things in it, for that unrelated cop movie, because that was a different movie before Sonic invaded it. If people were able to figure out what that movie was, they'd be able to find a treasure map to the X that would allow them to undo Sonic.exe's great power.
Preach, my friend. Fucking preach. Next, we have real life, but real life, curiously, is one word. Real life pharaohs.
Oh, damn.
Do you feel the energy coursing through your body right now?
Holy fuck.
Real life pharaohs. In level A.
Okay. This is a huge one. Henry?
Yes?
Are you familiar with the anime and manga series Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes. I've been waiting for that question all my life.
Well, guess what? It's all real.
I knew it! I fucking knew it! All of my headcanons are confirmed.
Real life pharaohs is Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's our reality. And you know what? The pharaohs were the ultimate birth to death to life to life to death because they were immortal once they died.
Yeah, and all you need is all of the pieces of Exodia, and they can come back.
No, you need all of the pieces of every Exodia. You need to get every Exodia in the world, and at the same time, obliterate everything, thus life, death, killing to life, everything, and making everyone immortals forever.
And Gus, do you know where they're hiding all of the Exodia cards?
I think I have some idea, but please inform the audience.
They're under all of the A's.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere you see an A in life, you peel it away, there'll be an Exodia card in it.
We have it now. Go out to your local Target. Go out to your local other business. Go to your AA meeting. It's full of Exodias.
Originally, the Hollywood sign read, "A Hollywooder," but people stole the A's to get the Exodias.
Exactly, because Hollywood used to be Italian.
Exactly, a Hollywooder. I did the hand motion.
They took it from me. They took it from all of us.
Disgusting. Just another way that this country is shitting on Italian America. I say this country as though I'm also in America. I'm not. I'm in England. You could probably tell by the voice.
Here's the thing, Henry. If you stepped into Cornwall for even a second, you'd be in America.
You are so right. It's like an entire embassy just tucked away. They actually make the Cornish pasties in Brighton.
Yeah. Well, are you saying tucked away because all of Cornwall is underground?
Well, yeah, obviously. Because the thing is, the sun is so hot there, it's like you'll just be burned to death if you go on the top.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure because there's some British slang that I don't know about. But yeah, you're literally referring to that this is an underground city. Whenever anyone says tucked away in Britain about a city, they're talking about underground cities.
Yeah, but the grand underground city of Cornwall, which is, the last bastion of America in England.
Well, that's the thing about Cornwall, is that in order to get down there, not only do you have to go underground, but you have to get through the actual wall of maize corn that the Americans put there in order to protect it.
Yeah.
It's a massive corn maze that if you don't get through it, you can't get to Cornwall.
It's hard to tell because Donald Trump, slurs his words a lot because he's, weighed down by the sheer force of truth. If you slow down a lot of the videos, you'll see he's actually saying, build the Cornwall.
Exactly, because he's building it in the past, in the future, and the Aztecs paid for it, and he's just getting them confused with the Mexicans because he's actually racist, and that's just the true thing about him.
He is very, very racist. There's no denying that. So, last thing on level A is recycled pizza. And this is another thing which I'm sorry to bring this up to you as an Italian American, but, I can't shield the truth from anyone.
Yeah, well, speaking of shield, that actually has something to do with it. So, Roman shields were actually melted down and made into the first pizzas.
That's why they taste so good. Blood and metal.
And you're tasting the passion of the Roman legionnaires. You literally, what your brain fills in as toppings and cheese and delicious crust is actually the taste of Rome. And Rome actually fell because they had to bring pizza into existence. All of Rome, this empire that lasted for many years, was taken from us in order to create the fucking pizza. And I just have to say, I think it was worth it. But nobody else gets to eat pizza but me.
Yeah.
That's the condition.
As it was said by the great philosopher Direwolf, Rome wasn't built in a day, but you can eat it in one.
Well, that's the thing. If one man eats all the pizzas, he becomes the emperor. But if everyone eats all the pizzas, we've just got little shards of emperors everywhere. It's like Exodia. It's much like Exodia. It needs to be assembled. And that's why I won't rest until I get all the pizza.
Yeah, it's that old, classic poem, human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a pizza eater?
Exactly.
Alright, that brings us on to Tier 5. Or is it Tier 2? Or Tier S? Are you ready?
I am no longer ready, because we've crossed the threshold.
Perfect. Alright, so first, MIT Time Cube.
Okay, so this is actually not the MIT you're thinking of.
Go on.
Instead of the college in Massachusetts, this is actually talking about the men in town. And by that I mean the men in your town right now. Currently at this moment.
Probably up the pub, statistically.
Yeah, yeah. And while they're there, while they're drinking, while they're being a bunch of, like, cheeky lads, they are cubifying time because that's what they need to cool down their drinks because they're so hot.
And they have the time cube in their drink while they eat the pizza.
Yeah, and that way they can transport themselves back into Rome and build it not in a day, because they'll arrive many years from the future to the day that Rome would be built, and that's why it wasn't built in a day, because it was built by all the people, the men in town, having the time cubes, traveling back, and building it all at once across many eons, and then ending it to get their pizza. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy for pizza.
You've got it. That is how you attract attention with verbal words right there. And we just have to hope.
That is how you attract cute people to you, by talking about this.
Yeah, exactly. The more you talk about this, you're going to have, whatever kind of, like, person you're attracted to just, like, hanging off for you. You're going to have to beat them off with a time stick.
Unspeakably hot people that you will need time cubes to cool down.
Yeah, unspeakably hot. Like Lucifer Valentine's girlfriends level hot.
Yeah, that level.
So after that, we have Boomerang Internet.
Okay, so this one is the conspiracy that the Cartoon Network channel Boomerang was not actually a channel on TV, but was in fact a separate secret internet where cartoons use reality to interact with it. It's the internet of the other side, and they play our reality using human avatars. So there are people out there that are controlled by Yogi Bear and Droopy Dog and all the rest, and you just don't know because they've blended the Boomerang internet into our internet.
I am so glad someone else is finally saying it. I have felt alone for years on this. But this is why we host this channel. Like, it's just, we know these things. And the fact is, when you know these truths, you can't unknow them. Like, that's your life.
Exactly. So be very wary of anyone you meet whose name is Hannah or Barbara, because it's most likely that they are manifestations of this alternate Boomerang internet in our reality, because those names never existed previously before Hanna-Barbera.
There is one person who might be able to save us from Hanna and Barbera, and they're even more secretive and classified, because next we have the Galactic Superhero.
The Galactic Superhero.
The Galactic Superhero.
It says it all right there. There's only one. There's just one of them.
In our whole galaxy.
There's one guy who was the Galactic Superhero, but he died.
It's one of the saddest things that ever happened. Died to life.
I mean, no, died to death, bro. He died because he was killed. Because America, during the golden age of comics, needed a weapon against the Axis powers. They needed propaganda. And this Galactic Superhero refused to bind himself to any nation. He was a real, abolish borders type of guy. So America dissected him, cut him into pieces, and from his skin and flesh and muscle and sinew and other words for body, he was turned into the pages of the first issue of every comic book.
It's so true, but I'm genuinely I can feel the vomit rising in my throat. Like, this is horrifying, but it's true. It's true, but it's just, even when you know it, it's upsetting to hear said loud.
Exactly. And think about it, man. Why do you think they call them issues? Because we would have to have issues to have done something so barbaric, so Hanna-Barbaric.
I'm sorry, dude, but I can't talk about this one anymore. I'm gonna cry if we keep going. We have to move on to human living robots.
Fun fact, man. You know how we're all ghosts? You know how we're all phantoms and we're incorporeal until we're killed to life? Any time that you've actually touched another human being, like you've been around them, you've felt like a physical presence there, that is much like in the Blade Runner movie, the recent one, the one with the Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner, where Felicity Jones is like a ghost hologram, and she goes over the other sex worker and they have sex. That's all of reality and all of human contact, is that there's live human robots underneath, and we're actually touching those when we think we're touching our human bodies, but we're not, because we're ghosts, unless we've been killed to life, in which case that's a human. And the only way you can tell is because when you touch a real human, you immediately think about backwards baseball caps.
I know I do.
If you've never thought about a backwards baseball cap while having like a talk or a close intimate moment with another person, then that was a robot.
That was a human living robot.
Well, functionally though, you were still probably interacting with their ghost, in which case like the robot was just mimicking their actions. In which case, that moment is still probably as intimate or not intimate as like whatever happened there. Functionally, when you think about this one, it actually doesn't change anything about the way we interact with reality, because there's kind of a difference, at least metaphysically, between the body and the soul and the spirit. But it's robots and ghosts.
It's been watered down by the internet, but like when people say bro moment, these are the moments. Next, we have the sandbox.
Oh man, I wish you didn't bring this one up, man.
We need the sandbox on record. Like it's not a truth video unless you're discussing the fucking sandbox.
Okay. You know how people say that there's no life on Mars, that we'll get there eventually, that like Elon Musk will set up like a slave colony there. It's gonna be super fucked up, right?
Yes.
Well, turns out there's already life on Mars, and it was set up by Elon Musk's dad, who he hates, and it's
who was an
actually
apartheid
a giant
emerald miner, I believe.
Yep, exactly, and he used those emeralds. He used those emeralds to fund a massive game of The Sims. There is literally a sandbox game happening on Mars. A sandbox game that is all of them. It's Grand Theft Auto, it's Skyrim, it's all the sandbox games really take place on Mars, because those graphics are just scanlations of the mocap of the horrifying Musk clones that are up there performing all of these actions. You ever seen the movie Us? Whenever you play Skyrim, it's us, but it's them, and they're on Mars, and they're suffering.
And as well, to bring it like almost full circle, because he was an emerald miner on Mars, this sandbox world is the Emerald City of Oz. And Oz stands for Ozoinks. It's Elon Musk's dad, our dictatorial ruler.
Yeah, exactly. And like, this is why I didn't want to bring this up. Like, not only
it's a bit of a bummer, honestly.
Like, yeah, and a fair chunk of this is just straight up real, but most importantly, like, I know how much you love Skyrim, and like, I didn't want to like, remind you of the guilt of what happens every time you play it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm still going to play it, but like, I will feel bad.
That's good. That's the same as doing something about it.
Exactly. At the end of the day, like, thinking about like doing something is just as fulfilling and therefore just as effective as taking action. Think of everyone you know who has actually said the word praxis out loud. They're a wanker.
Yeah, exactly. If you keep it in your head, if you keep your praxis in your head, then you are actually doing even more of the praxis than ever would be possible.
Because you're not saying it and you're not like bumming people out and annoying them. And that in itself is a public service. Remember, we're all about truth here, but sometimes the greatest kind of truth is silence, apathy, and complacency.
It's true.
Anyway, moving on to the last of this one, we have top secret money.
Okay, so top secret money is actually the secret that money isn't real. That's it. That's the whole conspiracy.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, the fact is, all money is essentially just tokens for like promised or agreed upon value. The fact is, you don't necessarily have to agree on the value of currency. And it's in that moment that the currency collapses, because the fact is, it's all speculative. It only has the power we give it, and the people who hoard it really hope we don't realize that, because all of a sudden, like that, it could become worthless, like that one episode of Recess with the Mont stickers.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, man. What is money supposed to signify? Numbers. We've already established that numbers are completely arbitrary. They're not real. They rhyme
Yeah, it's true.
and nullify each other. The only real money you will ever see in your entire life is a $4 bill. But have you ever seen one? No.
Yeah.
Because it's fake. The only real number is 4. The only real letter is A. And they've stolen all of that from us.
Yeah, and the thing is, the rest of money is worthless, because, like, you could use it as toilet paper, but think about how dirty money is. It will give your butthole streptococcus, or necrotizing fasciitis. You'll die, is what I'm saying.
Everybody who's made it this far in the video, I need you to speak truth to power. I need you to write comments that are just a bunch of A's. Put them here so they can't take it from us. Just write a bunch of A's in the comments. Just as many A's as you can in caps lock. Just write a bunch of A's as much as you can, and leave multiple comments that are just a bunch of A's. As many A comments as you can.
Here's how you spell it phonetically. Ah!
Ah!
That's how you fucking do it. That's how you fucking do it. And that brings us to level 6. Now, this shit, dude, like, the rest has been kiddie shit compared to this, genuinely.
Well, I'm gonna have to empty my litter box then. It's not funny, it's serious.
I take that as serious, because the thing is, everyone knows the government hides micro cameras in cat turds.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why it can make babies blind. It's why it makes babies blind. It's not parasites, it's because if you put a camera too close to an eye will sense that it's in the presence of its superior and shut down out of respect.
I mean, dogs give you cancer. Cats were invented as an alternative by the government because we found out about dogs, and cats are just surveillance devices.
Speaking of the government, the first thing on level 6, the fucking primo grande level, is cocaine government.
You notice how the White House is white?
Please tell me you're saying what you think I'm gonna say. What? Yeah, go on.
All I'm saying is, if someone were being in a helicopter above the White House, because if you look down and you saw the White House, looks a lot like a white line, doesn't it? Well, if you were a giant, if you were a big enough giant, you would be able to snort the White House and get high enough to form the perfect government. A government that would cancel out all other governments, because government always bad, and if you get high on by smoking the last of the governments, then you create a post-government society. And that's why they killed all the giants. That's why Eren Yeager killed all the Titans, to prevent them from smoking the governments and making post-government utopia.
This energy right now, this is exactly what we need. It's like we've both snorted the White House together.
Yeah, oh, someday, man. If we get that giant-defying serum, like, let's do it.
You know, that's a stretch goal when we make the Patreon. Allow us to snort the White House. Next we have, because this is actually kind of scary considering what you were talking about a minute ago, but dogs that walk on 2 legs.
Oh, man, I got a chill down my spine about this one.
Yeah, I know, right? Like a full body shudder.
There's so much I don't know about this one, but I do know that it happened to somebody. I know a friend of a friend whose cousin was married to the person, and basically that makes them my direct cousin, but also not, because they belong to a different family in the first place. What I'm saying is, when they were looking outside of their house one day, they called out to their dog, and their dog stood up on its hind legs and ran like a person to their door. And when it got to their door, it said, "I'm telling you, man, these owls in their cowls, they live in the bowels of the government." And immediately right then, red dots appeared on both their heads, and they were both killed. And the only reason I knew that this happened is because I left a tape recorder in the kitchen next to the stove that was on. And so the tape recorder burnt up, and the heat noise was recorded in my second secret tape recorder. That's how secretive I had to be, because owls and dogs are at war, and one of them walks on 2 legs, and owls, they walk on 4.
Dude, you're not going to believe this, but I have a similar story that corroborates a lot of these details. Like, a dog and an owl. Like, I don't live with my parents. Haven't for, like, a few years now. But I know for a fact that a dog and an owl, a dog on 2 legs, like you said, owl on 4, smashed in through the window and having quite an intense, like, fight in my parents' bedroom before, like, leaping back out the window because, like, I have, the camera in there so I can get footage of them having sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty gruesome fight, and it was hard to wank to. Like, I finished. I finished in the end, but, like, it was nothing compared to, like, watching my parents bone and just imagining, like, oh, shit, that's how I was conceived. That's pretty horny. Sorry, I think that one got away from me. Shall I move on to the next one?
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
Yeah.
But just remember that wasn't how you were born. That was how you were, like, haunted into existence.
God, you're so right. Jesus, what a funny world we live in. Anyway, next we have Tech Noir 100 Year.
Tech Noir 100 Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, remember when I mentioned fake years before?
I knew this would come up.
It's because there are only 100 actual real years. 1984 is one of them. Another real year is the year of the 90s, which was 1 year.
It just felt really long because of 9/11.
Yeah, the year number, 2001 was another year. And then there was also a year called Year One way back in the beginning, and it was a year that only Jack Black and Michael Cera experienced.
I think Vinnie Jones was there as well, and possibly Oliver Platt.
It was a pretty bad year, but there also is a good year, which like kind of masquerades as a company, but it's one of the years. There's a bunch of, I mean, I don't want to list all the rest of the years because there's a lot of them. There's like
the boy band Busted unveiled the year 3000. In that thesis paper they presented with Dr. Emmett Brown.
Yeah, so there's Spyro Year of the Dragon. There's a bunch of years, just a lot of years, but not more than 100. There's exactly 100 years in the world.
That band, Years for Fears? Or was it Years for Years? Or perhaps even Years.
The Year of Luigi, that was another one. That was a year.
Yeah, and that's Tech Noir 100 Years. You nailed it, dude. You fucking nailed it. Are you ready to get serious, like scary again?
I'm gonna get scariest, man. I'm the scariest man.
Elvis Murder.
People don't want to tell you about how many murders Elvis did, but he sure did do a lot of them. And the reason people don't know is because this was after he got killed to life by the drugs. And after he was killed to life, he was in Area 51, and he joined the Phantom Army, and he was the only living member of the Phantom Army, and he murdered a bunch of people. Not because he was ordered to. That's just because what he wanted to do.
Because he ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah, what are they going to do about it? It's Elvis. They weren't just going to say, no, Elvis, you can't kill those people. Like,
yeah, they just gave him his gun, and he said, thank you very much, and then went on a killing spree.
Yeah. Exactly, and at the end of the day, we couldn't go on together with suspicious minds, and that's why people had to figure it out.
Yeah, he just can't help falling in love with us.
He was just a hunk of burning love.
Yeah, a hunk of burning love is a bullet.
Mm-hmm. That's his love for us. That's expressed through the guns and the bullets.
But if you thought that was scary, next is Elvis's Revenge.
Well, like I said, some of these, all of these, if we're to assume that time is real and not a cube.
And that's a leap. That's a leap.
A time leap, if you will. This is one that is yet to happen because we haven't yet been able to experience the past. You may think that you have the past, but that's actually your memories of the past, but you were never there. But it will happen at some point. It's going to happen again, and when it does, Elvis's murder spree will happen again because it happened in what we consider the past. So his revenge will just be when he actually does it again, but for the first time, because it'll be in the past, which we'll be experiencing for once.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the time when he wants a little less conversation and a little more action, baby.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, people say he left the building. Actually, he's just waiting.
Yeah.
In his blue suede shoes with his fucking Uzi 9mm.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. It's like they framed many people over the years for this, and it's practically a whole jailhouse rock full of these people.
I mean, he rocks the jailhouse with his wrecking ball, lets all the inmates out. They kill everyone.
Yeah.
Just, that's how it happens.
Oh, man.
That ends tier 6. Or was it tier 9? The nerve gas is clearly taking effect. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so are you ready for tier 7?
I'm ready for tier 1, yes. We're starting the video now, right?
Yes. Yes, tier 1 with Jack Black and Michael Cera and Vinnie Jones and Oliver Platt et al.
Top tier.
Yeah, tier 1, top tier, begins with second NYC subway system. Some fucking midnight meat train shit.
Yeah, so NYC is actually nobody comes over to this place. And that's why they don't know about it. Because they think, oh, it's in New York, right? And they go there and they can't find it. And you know where it actually is? It's in Dover, England, which is right next to Cornwall, which is outlying enough that it's quasi-American.
What, out of curiosity, like, could you, I completely agree with you, could you outline, like, the acronym to me again?
Oh, nobody comes over.
Yeah, no, okay, nobody comes you over, that makes sense. So the NYC thing is just tricking people by switching the letters around when it's actually NCY.
Yeah, no, you're right, because you never see the Y in front of the C.
Dude, I just checked the time. Here in England, it's 9/11. That's not a coincidence. The government is coming.
That means that it's actually 677.
Oh, that's when shit really goes down. That's when Elvis comes back.
Well, that's the thing. When it's 777, that means you win a special jackpot. But the government won't let you have it. They won't let you keep it. They'll take it.
Yeah, you just get unkilled by Elvis.
Yeah, and then re-un-ghost killed by ghost fucking.
So these things happen. And it's Elvis ghost fucking you as well. Because he is, after all, Elvis the Pelvis.
And yeah, and so you become your own parent to yourself. Because it's parent normal activity.
Yeah, and now you're an incest baby. So you have superpowers.
Yeah, and you're really funny in that one Rick and Morty episode.
So this next one, incidentally, I may have primed you for this by showing you a video about it last night. Bacon/meat/egg conspiracy.
Oh, well, this is the conspiracy that there are any other foods that you need. Those are the ones that you just listed are the food groups.
Bacon, meat, egg.
It's not a food pyramid so much as a map of meaning. And this is why Jordan Peterson eats this way. And that's how he actually was able to survive destroying Dostoevsky. Because for Dostoevsky to exist at all and write his great novels, he had to also not exist because the author can never put any of themselves into their work. So he ate the only foods that exist, to have an all-meat diet, to have the maps of meaning, to kill Dostoevsky, Dostoevsky's living ghost, in order to life, death, birth Dostoevsky into reality so he'd write these novels automatically.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you can tell that because of the purely bacon, meat, egg diet, Jordan Peterson and people like him, healthy as horses. I mean, Jordan Peterson takes jet black shits. And that's because he is shitting the demons out.
Yeah, they're antimatter. He's getting rid of the antimatter. The rest of us have our demonic energy pent up inside of us, and that's no good.
Yeah, he's like fucking Nibbler from Futurama.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson's shits could bring us into a new era of space travel, but that's a whole video in and of itself. Now we need to talk about God removing truth.
Ooh, they can try, but they'll never do it. 'Cause truth is more powerful than God. Because at the end of it all, the darkness that conquers all worlds will never conquer kingdom truth. Kingdom truth is light.
Is stronger than facts. Facts are stronger than feelings, and feelings are stronger than gods, especially sarcastic gods.
Yep, and the biggest truth of all is that in any of these stories where a massive, super overarching power that is akin to a god is trying to take over all of reality, and you know about the fact that they're going to do it, there's always the hope of truth that it won't come to be, so that you can live in a perpetual state of thinking that you are at the center of a grand hero's journey where you can finally overcome this overwhelming force that is always going to be weaker than you because you have truth.
And that's a fantastic fantastic and empowering way to look at the world, and it should also inform how you treat other people who you know are just, secondary characters, like props in your journey.
And it's how you should eat too. That's why there's only meat, bacon, and eggs.
Yeah,
all the other foods are what they want you to eat.
Now, we're getting onto a staple of what this channel likes. We're getting artistic. We've got Dada's secret message, as in DADA, as in the artistic movement, Dadaism.
Yes, well, little did you know, or maybe you did know this, because you're a truth warrior as well.
Thank you.
But most people don't know that Dada gets its name from the first words that a baby should say is identifying their father. And if they say mama, they become evil. They become scary. They start embracing the Great Mother, who is all skulls and skulls beyond skulls. But Dada is actually it is art that transcribes the oracular visions of the moments where the babies recognized that their father is the coolest and strongest person in the whole world, and Karen needs to give him his fucking kids back. God, it's too painful.
I'm so sorry you're going through this, dude. I'm so sorry. Look, I'll move on. I'm sorry.
She's turned the weens against us.
I realized this was a touchy subject for you.
Oh, alimony, more like my money.
But her aim is getting better. It's funny because marriage is terrible.
Oh, I cried so hard that I started laughing, and now I feel a little bit better.
And that's Boomerang Internet in action.
Yep.
Anyway, so we are on to the final level. Level 8, or is that level 3?
Numbers have no meaning now, because a complete 3, or a what we perceive as an 8, turn it sideways. That's an infinity symbol, dude.
Yeah. Infinity, otherwise known as Thrate.
Thrate. And that's why it's the greatest Thrate to everyone who wants to keep it a secret.
Yeah, exactly. And, it will always prevail. It's infinite. It is threatening. There's no defeating it. Though, incidentally, there are 8 on this last level, by which I mean 3, by which I mean Thrate, by which I mean infinity, by which I mean truth. Starting with intersection awareness theory.
Did you know that in any given city, those places where they'll paint the 2 white lines so that you can cross the street, the intersections as they call them?
Right.
Did you know that those lines were painted there by the government? And that actually you can cross anywhere. The only reason they put those lines there is so that you can walk their path. And if you don't walk in those lines long enough, you'll get hit by a car. And then you'll die. And that happens because you didn't walk between the white lines. That you were too aware that the intersections were false, and you died because you knew too much.
And who's driving the car? Elvis Presley.
The government, in the form of Elvis Presley, yeah.
I mean, the government, Elvis Presley, that's a fucking synonym, dude. That's a cinnamon. That is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Elvis's favorite cereal, because he's a serial killer.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the theory of Elvis-lution?
No, we can't... Dude, that's its own 30-part series of 3-hour videos. We can't drop that here. Fuck you, dude. Eat my shit. I hope you live and die and live again, and Elvis gets you. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Bringing up Elvolution? I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude.
Dude, we gotta Presley onward bravely. Fuck. We've gotta... Look. I live, I die, I live again, alright? This isn't mediocre shit. Let's get to the next one.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. You know how I get. I'm passionate about the truth. Which brings us to...
I miss my kids.
Ice Age Eden. Not to be confused with our friend Eden. Voice of Camille. And owner of the Studio Eden channel.
Are we sure that Eden never went to the Ice Age? Just as a vacation?
We'll have to ask her after this.
Well, it's funnily enough, because little known fact, Eden, her name is actually shared with the Garden of Eden. I don't know if the etymologies are related, but the Garden of Eden in the Christian Bible was this place where Adam and Eve lived, and they ate a fruit.
Eating fruit as well, outside the bacon, meat, egg. You know it was headed for trouble. Like, you might as well just eat a knife.
This is literally that Garden of Eden that happened during the Ice Age. It was when people first discovered how to cook meat, because they were like, Adam and Eve, you're just this weird couple. Like, they pretend they're the center of the universe. They're like the only people around. They think they know better than all of us. You know what? We're going to cook some meat. And sure enough, they did. And cooking that meat melted away all that stupid ice, and it led to all the good shit that we have. And also, well, in a technical sense, because it was the beginning of time, it also led to every single world power that tried to control us. But you know what? It was better than fucking having to deal with Adam and Eve and their fucking soy latte bullshit.
Yeah, the thing is, Adam and Eve were wankers, because what they don't tell you is that God made Adam and Steve first.
Yeah.
But then he made Adam and Eve. Different Adams. Because the first one, totally nice guy. Second one, kind of a wanker. Bit of a misogynist. Kind of a cis male type He-Man woman hater. Ironically, the gay Adam, much nicer to women, even though they didn't exist when he was first made with his husband Steve.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's all valid, man, and that's true. Like, that's actual true to the real Bible, the real one that you can actually read.
On a PDF on our website, the Gus and Henry translation.
I don't trust either of them because they're both named Adam. Let me spell that for you. A-D-A-M? That's 2 A's in there.
And if you think about it, it's coded saying a dumb, like a dumb person. You shouldn't trust them.
No, they're putting it right there in the name. Don't trust Adam.
And like they removed one of his ribs to make Eve. Oh yeah, sure. He had the rib removed so he could suck his own dick.
Also, what a dumbass, because he removes the rib and then doesn't eat the delicious rib meat? What a fuck. What a vegan fuck.
He should have just vored Eve. That's the only way you can be healthy.
We'd all sleep much better at night if Adam vored Eve.
Yeah. And then went into a kind of polyamorous threesome with gay Adam and Steve.
And the snake. Get the snake in there too.
Yeah, they're shove the snake up someone's ass. And then shove the other end of the snake up another person's ass.
Yeah, the rattle part.
I'm getting horny just thinking about this, so let's move on.
Ooh, man.
To the very last theory, planescape.
You know how you can go to airports, right?
Right.
Little did you know that the different wings of an airport, the different flight decks, they're all the same airport, man. And Denver Airport is the physical location of every airport in the world, and the entrances all lead there. There's only one airport, and that is the planescape. It's from where all planes come and where they all go. And how, like, jet lag is just you traveling in and out of these dimensions.
You're so... And do you know who is the ruler of this domain?
Of the planescape? Who?
Someone we mentioned in another video. Jeff Airlines.
You're right!
From our Jeff Bezos writing tips video.
Yeah, he knew that the only way to stop the aliens was to ride every plane and to infinitely 677 them into destruction. But it was too much, and a world without planes simply couldn't exist. So, through life, rebirth, death, ultimate genocide, ultimate reversal, Exodia, he created the planescape as the only real reality. The liminal space to which the guides to all the other stranded parts of the universe that make up the place that requires kingdom truth to function, because the Death Meat Gang, they're new. I didn't tell you about them, but they're coming back. The Phantom Army and the Death Meat Gang, they're gonna kill us unless we go to the planescape and fly to the living zone of the America Cornwall.
I mean, that's convenient because that's the last one. Like, the Iceberg is done, so we can go straight to the planescape now. All we ask of you, humble truth seekers at home. Like, for a start, if you've made it this far, you're a true warrior. Yeah, you're a truth warrior. Include the phrase, like, make a comment, include the words truth warrior in your comment. That's how we'll know you're legit and you made it this far. And in fact, the only way you could be more legit is if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and like hit the bell for more truth. And most importantly, shared this video with your most fucking sheeple friends who need to get woke.
Exactly. Wake the fuck up, people. You're a dead ghost. You need to take back the A's. You need to take those chai lattes, get to the planescape, and invert the gravity of the Earth to save everyone from being alive dead, or dead or alive. Dead or Alive coming to Xbox near you. It's the game they got the big boobies.
We'll see you there, fuckers. Truth Boys out!